the narcissist's favorite dark trick they use to control, hurt, and subdue you. In today's discussion, we enter one of the narcissist's most insidious psychological maneuvers, a tactic so subtle, yet so emotionally disorienting that many victims don't even recognize they're being manipulated until the damage is already done. Psychologists often describe this tactic as a deflection of accountability, a defensive strategy narcissists use to shift blame for their harmful behavior directly onto the person who was hurt by it. And make no mistake, this is not a harmless misunderstanding. It is a deliberate, calculated form of psychological abuse. Today, we're diving into the disturbing way narcissists twist your very normal human reactions into accusations that you are too sensitive. Being labeled too sensitive after reacting to disrespect or emotional harm is more than dismissive. It is a strategic rewriting of your reality. According to trauma therapists, invalidating someone's emotional response is a core component of gaslighting, because the abuser isn't merely disagreeing with your feelings. They are actively attempting to control the narrative. They shift the focus from what they did to how you responded, positioning themselves as calm and logical while painting you as irrational or emotionally unstable. This tactic not only erases the original offense but also subtly attacks the victim's identity and self-perception. Psychologists note that the deeper intention behind this manipulation is to fracture your trust in your own instincts. When someone repeatedly tells you that your feelings are exaggerated or unreasonable, they are training you to mistrust your emotional compass. Over time, victims begin internalizing the message, gradually believing that their natural reactions are inappropriate or excessive. This erosion of self-confidence makes the narcissist's long-term agenda much easier. A doubting victim is a compliant victim, a silent victim, a controllable victim. And ultimately, that is exactly what the narcissist wants. Today, we're going to break down exactly how this tactic works, why narcissists use it, how they ensure it succeeds, and the psychological signs that can help you protect yourself from this mental trap. But before we go further, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell, as I release new videos each week on narcissistic abuse and emotional recovery. If you're interested in private recovery sessions with me, or if you'd like more information about my course and private survivor community with weekly group sessions, you'll find all the links in the description below. Now, let's dig deeper into what I call weaponizing sensitivity, one of the most deceptive manipulation strategies narcissists use to escape responsibility. Psychologists explain that this tactic is extremely effective because it flips the emotional script. Instead of the narcissist's behavior being under scrutiny, your reaction becomes the problem. This is often referred to as reactive abuse, not because the victim becomes abusive, but because the narcissist reframes the victim's natural reaction as the true offense. And because narcissists fear accountability and self-reflection, they instinctively shift the narrative to make themselves appear reasonable while portraying you as unstable. It usually sounds like, "Relax, I was joking. You are way too sensitive. Why do you take everything so personally? No one else would react like that. You make such a big deal out of nothing." None of these statements are attempts to understand your emotional state. They are psychological diversions designed to invalidate your pain. Therapists often point out that once the narcissist successfully plants that seed of doubt, once you start wondering whether your pain is legitimate, they no longer need to defend their behavior. Instead, you find yourself defending your right to feel hurt at all. And in that moment, the narcissist gains control. The conversation is no longer about their disrespect. It becomes an interrogation of your emotional character. What makes this tactic profoundly damaging is how silently it infiltrates the victim's inner world. Emotional abuse is rarely loud or obvious. It corrodes you slowly. Psychologists emphasize that repeated invalidation can cause victims to question their memories, instincts, and interpretations of reality. Over time, you may start asking yourself, "Am I overreacting? Are my feelings too big? Is something wrong with me?" And that, my friends, is the very essence of gaslighting. When your emotional foundation is eroded like this, the consequences are severe. Victims often develop chronic self-doubt, anxiety, hypervigilance, and a persistent sense of walking on eggshells. They learn to repress their reactions just to avoid conflict, believing silence is safer than being told their feelings are wrong. This psychological collapse is not an accident. It is the narcissist's intended outcome. And understanding this is the first step toward reclaiming your emotional truth and protecting your inner world from further manipulation. The cycle often begins quietly, almost imperceptibly. Before the narcissist even utters a single word, you start censoring yourself. Psychologists describe this as preemptive self-invalidation, a survival response learned in toxic environments. You catch yourself thinking, "Here I go again. Maybe I really am overreacting." That internal dialogue is not born from truth, it's born from conditioning. You learn to intercept your own emotions before anyone else has the chance to weaponize them. And when that happens, your emotional world begins to shrink. You stop voicing discomfort because you fear being mocked. You stop setting boundaries because every line you draw has been twisted into evidence that you're too dramatic. In time, many victims even become emotionally numb, a psychological shutdown triggered by repeatedly forcing your feelings underground. This numbness is not natural, it's a shield forged through prolonged invalidation. Over months or years, something even more dangerous occurs. You begin trusting the narcissist's interpretation of events more than your own. Psychologists warn that this is one of the final stages of gaslighting, where the victim becomes psychologically dependent on the abuser for clarity, truth, and even self-worth. And this dependency is exactly what the narcissist wants. A person who doubts themselves is far easier to control. A person who questions their instincts will not challenge authority, assert boundaries, or walk away from a toxic situation. Narcissists thrive when others shrink because the smaller you become, the larger their power grows. This psychological manipulation tends to be most effective on individuals who are naturally empathetic, introspective, or committed to personal growth. Therapists consistently observe that kind-hearted people, those who genuinely want to improve themselves, are the easiest targets. Why? Because they take criticism seriously. They assume others speak from honesty rather than malice. Narcissists exploit this openness, twisting your strengths into vulnerabilities. They convince you not only that your emotional responses are excessive, but that you yourself are somehow defective for having them at all. They systematically reframe your empathy as oversensitivity, your loyalty as naivete, your boundaries as selfishness. And if you internalize these lies, you begin to silence yourself to avoid conflict, excuse toxic behavior to keep the peace, and stay in destructive relationships because you no longer trust your perception of harm. As this pattern continues, victims often sink into what psychologists call emotional detachment, a state where you feel disconnected from your own inner world. This detachment is not a failure, it is a trauma response. When your emotions are attacked repeatedly, your mind learns to mute them for protection. But while this numbing may help you survive moment to moment, it ultimately makes you easier for the narcissist to control long-term. The longer you remain in this invalidation trap, the more impossible it becomes to see that the problem was never you. It was the manipulation designed to blur your vision. So if anything you're reading now feels painfully familiar, here is the truth every psychologist would want you to cling to. Your emotions are not the issue, their behavior is. Sensitivity is not a flaw. It is your internal alarm system, crafted through evolution to alert you to danger and dishonesty. When someone teaches you to ignore that alarm, they aren't trying to help you. They're trying to benefit from your silence. The very first step toward reclaiming yourself is rejecting the false narrative the narcissist forced upon you. Your feelings are not exaggerated. Your intuition is not broken. If something feels wrong, it is wrong. Your emotional instincts are not weaknesses. They are survival tools honed by experience. When a narcissist tries to gaslight you by claiming you're too sensitive, resist the temptation to defend your emotional character. Instead, redirect the focus back to where it belongs. Psychologists often recommend assertive reframing, such as saying, "This isn't about sensitivity, this is about disrespect." Do not debate your feelings, they are not up for negotiation. And surround yourself with people who affirm your emotional reality. Healthy environments help counteract years of invalidation, reminding your nervous system that your emotions are not liabilities, but signals of truth. It is also crucial to set boundaries, clear ones, and hold them without apology. Narcissists thrive when their victims feel compelled to explain or justify every line they draw. But boundaries require no justification. They are simply the architecture of self-respect. And remind yourself daily, you are not too much, you are not unstable, you are not reacting improperly. You are having a normal human response to abnormal treatment. Ultimately, when a narcissist accuses you of being too sensitive, what they are really admitting is this: I don't want to take responsibility for how I treat you. Do not fall for it. Your emotional depth is not a weakness. It is your compass, your guide back to yourself. And the moment you begin trusting that compass again, you reclaim the power they worked so hard to take from you. Thank you for joining today's discussion. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more insights every week. You can also follow me on my other social platforms. Links are in the description below. And as always, thank you for being here, for learning, and for choosing healing.